We're joined now by Arizona head coach Tommy Lloyd with Jaden Bradley, Braden Burries, and Koa Peat. Coach will ask for an opening statement. Then we'll take questions for the players.
Yeah, first off, I want to, thank the players, on our team and the staff. They were amazing this year, and it was an awesome journey, and as much fun as I've ever had coaching basketball. And secondly, I want to give credit to Michigan. I mean, they were outstanding tonight, and really had us on our heels all night, and when we could never get into a rhythm, and so they get a ton of credit for that. No one's kind of been able to do that to us all year, and so it was an impressive performance by them.
Thank you, Coach. If you have a question for Jaden, Braden, or Koa, please raise your hand. We'll send a microphone attendant in your direction. We're going to take one right up front.
Yeah, Saul Bookman, PHNX Sports. Jaden, obviously you got in early foul trouble, and it seemed to just kind of disrupt a lot of things. I know there might be a little bit of frustration in terms of picking up 4 fouls so early into the second half. Can you explain how you felt and how you were trying to, help the team overcome that during that little run?
For sure. Definitely wanted to be out there with my guys, but like you said, early foul trouble. They just did a great job of putting me in ball screens, and we're just trying to cheer my guys on, on the bench. We got talented freshmen, other talented players, but Michigan just did a great job, and we weren't able to kind of catch up and tie it up.
Continuing with questions for the Arizona players up front on the right.
Chris Brown, AZ Wildcats Sports. Jaden, how do you just reflect on your time at Arizona and just what the city of Tucson and the Arizona basketball community means to you?
It means a lot. I appreciate Coach Lloyd and and the staff for taking me in and giving me I like to say, like a fresh start. I appreciate this team. We accomplished a lot this year. We definitely wanted to win this game, but Michigan, was a better team tonight. Appreciate Tucson. Just love this group and cherish the last couple gatherings we have together before everybody goes their own ways. But just happy to be a part of this team.
Up front on the left side.
Michelle Gardner, Arizona Republic. Coach has talked about figure it out, and we saw the Purdue game. You were down. You came out in the second half and steamrolled them, and you've been able to figure it out. Can you talk about what it was like in the locker room at halftime for this game and what made it different?
We'll ask Koa to take that, and then Braden.
I just think it just wasn't our day, honestly. A lot of shots went in and out. At halftime, Coach told us the same thing. Just to stay together, go out there, play our brand of basketball, and I'm just proud of the guys. We fought, didn't come out on top, but I'm just so super thankful for these guys. I love these guys, and I cherish every moment we had together, and just really grateful for everybody.
Braden, same question to you. What was the message at halftime?
No, definitely. The halftime speech was the same. No matter how much we was down by, it was the same. Coach Murph came in, told each other, everybody get up, dap each other up. We watched the clips, and then, Coach Lloyd came in, gave us the pep talk we needed. And then, we went out there, we just couldn't get it done. Michigan, they were making a lot of shots. They played great, and I'm just thankful, though, for the experience I had with these guys, man. Very blessed. Learned a lot about not only myself, but each one another.
Next question, second row, center.
David Baradian with Camp Student Radio. Braden, the team had 14 turnovers, below 40% from the field. What did Michigan do defensively to really aggravate the offense?
They had a great defensive plan. They were pretty bigger. But I feel like most of our shots was just like in and out. Like it was in the rim and then out, and sometimes it's just not your day, and just today wasn't our day, honestly.
In the back of the room on the left side, Myron is up against the column.
Yeah, Myron Metcalf, ESPN. For Koa, what kind of challenges does a guy like Addae-Mara present with just his size and agility?
He's just a good player, really unique. He had a really good game tonight, so, props to them.
We have a few more minutes for questions for Arizona student athletes, if there are any. We'll come back up front. We can start on this side.
Chris Brown, AZ Wildcats Sports. For Koa, obviously, you've been called Mr. Arizona all season. The objective, the goal was to win a national championship, but just how proud are you to be able to represent your home state on this stage and bring Arizona back to its first Final Four in 25 years?
Yeah, it means everything to me. You know, being a kid from Arizona, you know, putting on this jersey, having Arizona across my chest, you know. Like I said in the beginning of the season, when I put Arizona across my chest, I'm going to go 110% every game and leave no regrets. So I'm just really thankful for the brand and the program for everything they did for me. And, you know, these teammates right here, you know, I'm just super blessed. And it was a special year, and I'm just really thankful for everybody in Tucson for sure.
We're on the black microphone. We're going to the second row. Center.
Haziel Richardson, the Daily Wildcat. Tommy, what's the biggest message that you want to send to the players here?
Questions for the players right now, if you have?
Sorry. For you guys, what's the biggest takeaway, but also your favorite moment from this season?
We'll ask Braden to take that, and also Jaden.
My favorite moment, honestly, I couldn't even pick, but it honestly would be just being around the guys, probably just in the locker room or just like practice, you know, just going and competing against one another. And just like being around the guys, honestly, is just like, it's unexplainable. Like, it's just a blessing.
I would say just bonding off the court. I feel like you really get to figure your teammates out, know what they like, meet their families, just stuff beyond basketball, and I feel like it brings you closer on the court, and I feel like we did a lot of stuff like that this year.
Final question for the Arizona student athletes.
Yeah, Koa, Saul Bookman, PHNX Sports. You know, this is the first time in at least 4 years that you've ended the season on a loss. How can you take this experience and move it forward, whether it's at Arizona or beyond?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for me to process this right now. You know, I really haven't fully processed it, but yeah, just learn from it. You know, you're not gonna be perfect every night, but just knowing that, you know, I gave this team all I had. I could put my head on the pillow at night and be able to sleep. So, yeah, just super thankful. And, you know, these two right here, I love these guys, and, you know, we're gonna have a relationship for the rest of our lives. And Coach too, you know, Coach brought me in, and I can't thank Coach enough for how much he, you know, trusted me and believed in me, and I'm just really thankful for him and, you know, this program and everybody, honestly.
Well, and we're thankful as well for Koa, Jaden, and Braden. Thank you guys for your time. They're going to head back to the Arizona locker room. Congratulations, guys, on an outstanding season and your run to the Final Four. Arizona locker rooms open until 12:33. First question for Coach Lloyd. We'll go up front on the right side.
Jordan Mendoza, USA Today. Coach, a lot of people had hype in this game as like almost like a national championship feel, two heavyweights that were going against each other for a possible classic game. Seeing how the game, Michigan just came out and took over from right off the bat, do you feel like this game just said a lot more about how strong and dominant Michigan is, or do you feel like it just wasn't your night?
I mean, listen, Michigan gets all the credit today. You know, whether, I mean, it wasn't our night, probably had to do a lot with them. And they were just impressive. They were impressive how they came out and executed their game plan. And, you know, we got, you know, down a little bit. And we've been down a few times this year, but not like that. And we probably got a little panicky and weren't able to settle back in. And they get credit. I mean, that's why if you can get off to a good start in games, you know, it's usually pretty impactful. And that definitely was the case today.
We're on the white microphone. We're going left to Dan.
Hey, Tommy, Dan Walken, Yahoo Sports. Your guys had played and won a lot of tough games, down to the wire games. When you get to a Final Four, especially with a team with so many young guys, you know, does all that experience matter? Does it go out the window?
Man, you know, I mean, I don't know. You know, I mean, I don't think it was an experiencing today. I mean, we had a good couple of days of practice. We had a good shoot around today. I think we just came out. We played a team that was really well built. They have a great coach. And they were able to take control of the game, and then really, I mean, they were like surgical, you know, at a point, and so that's hard to do. So they get a ton of credit, and like you said, you know, we've had a great year, but even if you're a great team and you can't get in a rhythm, it's going to be a tough night, and that's what we felt tonight.
Third row center. We're on the black microphone.
Hi, Adi Joseph, CBS Sports. Dusty said he described your team as Gonzaga on steroids. Did you review the Michigan-Gonzaga game as a key part of your prep? And what does it say about Michigan that they were able to.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we obviously we looked at that, and they did that to a few other people, not just Gonzaga this year. And this game could have went that way. This obviously they have the kryptonite right now. So that's going to be a fun thing for me to try to figure out this offseason. They just did a great job, and their size really impacted the game. I felt that. I see they only have Mara down for 2 blocks. There's no way. I could think of 3 that he tipped. You know what I mean? Just right off the top of my head. And I think they're one of those teams. I would say like Houston's like that, or even like Iowa State's like that. Teams you play, you have to play them a few times, and after you kind of get used to playing them a few times, you get more comfortable. I mean, I think that's probably why you saw more closer games in the Big 10 for them towards the end. Because teams probably got comfortable playing them and had a better plan. And I wish we had another crack at it, but we don't. And so they get a ton of credit, and obviously, they're down to 2 teams left, and they got a good chance to win. But listen, I don't think anybody's going to count UConn out. That's why when everybody was saying this is the national championship game, it's not the national championship game. Monday night's the national championship game, and you have to fight to get there. So credit to Michigan, really impressive tonight.
Coach, we're going to the left side toward the back. Gentleman from Westwood 1.
Josh Graham, Westwood 1 Sports. Coach, how do you measure the disappointment of tonight with what your team achieved to get to this stage?
It'll probably take a little time. I knew we could do this year. And I thought we had a chance to win this 4-team tournament, but obviously Michigan had other thoughts today. So I'm sure we'll get back home and take a breath. But I know myself. No loss at the end of the season feels great, but I also think it can be a great learning tool. So we're gonna take a breath. Probably try to figure out what our roster looks like next year. And like I've always said, in this business as a coach, you got to be tough enough to take disappointment and show back up. And we're gonna show back up, and and we're gonna try to do this again, but see if we can do it a little bit better.
Coach on the right side in the back.
Jason Shear, Wildcat Authority. When you reflect on Jaden Bradley and Tobey and the seniors, obviously this is a tough way to go out, but what stands out just about their careers in general, what they did for the program?
They were just incredible young men. Not just really good basketball players, just great young men. I mean, we never had one issue with either one of those guys. They showed up every day. They played when they were a little banged up. They put in the work. They were great teammates. They did an amazing job of helping us kind of continue to build, our culture and kind of raise the standards of the program. So I'll always be thankful for those guys. I mean, I wish there was a 5th year of eligibility. I don't know. I guess I saw there was one, but who knows what will happen with that. But I wish I could coach those guys again because they're awesome young men.
Coach up front center.
Chris Brown, AZ Bandcat Sports. Obviously a historic season. Just what's the message to Tucson after the best season in arguably 25 years?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank them for everything. And obviously we're disappointed we weren't able to get it over the top for them. But I think we all saw what's possible again. And so now let's all roll up our sleeves and support each other and see if we can and make this a normal thing. That would be awesome for me. I know, you sit around and you dream as a coach, or you think, and these narratives in the media all get created that you can't win the big one and whatever. You get upset in the tournament. Well, I thought one day, I'm like, man, I can't wait till we get to a Final Four, because I knew we would, but can't wait till we get there just so, I can maybe just coach and don't have to worry about any of these, your guys' narratives or anything. But then the first thing that popped in my head was like, one Final Four, why don't we go 5 times in 10 years? That's where my mind's at. I'm going to do it day by day, but that's my big dream. Who knows? Maybe you guys will use that against me saying that someday. But I'm going to dream big, and I'm going to work my ass off to try to make it happen.
Coach, we'd love to have you. We're going to do a final question up on the left.
Coach David Kelly, Wildcats Radio 1290. What were they doing in that first half to turn you guys over the way they did?
They just did a great job being in the gaps. You know, they were kind of mixing up their, you know, whether they're going over and under ball screens, and our guys we didn't do a great job adjusting the level of our screen, and so we weren't getting the edge. And then they, you know, had a few guys over penetrate, you know, and then and they were, you know, they're scrappy and they're handsy, and they got their hands on some balls, and you know, I mean, that was kind of the first thing. And then, you know, I felt like there was, you know, at least, I don't know, 4 or 5 kind of rebound situations, you know, at our end when we were on defense that, you know, we had the ball or could have had the ball, and we just kind of didn't secure it. And, you know, that's tough when that happens right in front of the rim. You know, they pick it up and lay it in. So, you know, just the combination of those two things got them off to a really good start. And then, you know, Dusty's a really good coach. Once they get in a good start, he kind of really knows how to control the game. And you know, when you're controlling the game and you're running your actions and you're getting some open shots or semi-open shots and you knock them down, it makes it really tough to come back. And then that's what they were able to do.
We want to thank Coach Lloyd for joining us, and congratulations, Coach. Great season.
Thank you, guys.
And the run to the Final Four.